Hi, this is Deep. Today I'm gonna teach you about Python. This is a beginner tutorial. For this tutorial I'll be using Colab. You can go to like colab.research.google.com, press enter, then the pop-up will come. By the way, you need to sign in your Gmail account. Then you can click new notebook here. It will take some time to load. Okay, it already loaded, and you can write over here. It's not connected. You can just click it over here and connect it. So after connected, you can write the code. I have already written here, so let's get started. So this is the first one. I write print. Print is a function, built-in function in Python, and the hashtag actually using for comment in Python. So if you run this cell, in order to run the cell you need to press and hold shift key and then enter. You need to press shift key, hold the shift key and press enter. So inside the print function, what I've written, it already printed out. Welcome to Python tutorial. We can write also print 5. It just print 5. Okay, so this is the print function in order to give or show output in the screen. Then for variable, Python can have integer variable, this is a float variable, and string variable. For string variable, it can have single quotation and double quotation. Inside the quotation you need to write the character. Variable can be very big, means it can be really very big. Okay, so those who are familiar with C, C++ or Java, they are not C, C++ basically. There you can face problem, means if the int value is very big, then you can't use int. Instead you should use long int or long int. But for Python this is not a problem. Let's just write it. See, the whole number is inside the variable a, and those things will be handled internally in Python. We can also get the type of the variable. Here I have already if we run this, okay, we run the cell. For every cell you can run it individually. So here I already declare and run the a, b, c variable, which have different value. First one is integer, second one is float, third one is string. So if we run this cell now, I've already run that, so you can see a is integer type, b is float, c is string. Instead of string, it just written str. Then we can even change the variable after that set, means d, here I at first line I initialize with a integer value, then in the same value I initialized with float type, and third time I initialized string type with the same value. So the last, as it is string type, then it will print the type of d str. Okay, we can even specify the variable type. Like, in order to specify that, we need to write the type at first, then bracket, then the value. So d will be integer type, e will be float type, f will be string type. We should run this. Okay, So type conversion, which also known as typecasting. Here we can see B is float type. Variable B is float type, so we convert B into integer type. That's possible. And variable A, which is integer type, right? So we converted this into string type. So if you run this, it will show only 12. We can, in order to show every cell, we can write print, not every cell, means every line if you want to show it. So 15, 12. 12 is str string. Okay. So strings only contain, in order to convert a string into int or float, it must have only number. Okay. So this f is str5, means f contains, if we run, what is f? Shift and enter in order to run a single cell. F is quotation 5, which means this is string. So we converted f into integer and float. If we run this cell, no error will be found, so it is valid. But if we run d, which is string and contain character, d, what is d? D is 5, because we again run this. Then why don't we just d is equal to hello. Then if we now convert this into integer, it's not possible because it contains characters. Value error. Okay, invalid literal for int with base 10 hello, means this string or character cannot be converted, unable to convert it into integer. Okay, after that, then we start Python data type. First one is string. For string, I already talked about that, single quotation, double quotation, that is possible. For numeric types, it can have integer type, float type, complex type. If you ever know about number system, there is complex type also available. Then we can talk about sequence type. What is sequence? Similar kind of bunch of similar things, same things. So list type, list will be written using third bracket. Then there is tuple type. Tuple is immutable in Python. I'll be talked about those in later tutorial. So if sequence is in first bracket, this must be tuple. Second bracket, this is list. And for range, it is we need to write range 6, which means this is from starting from 0 to 6. Okay. Range also have another configuration. We'll see about that later. So if we print now, it will just print the range. Then if we comment this, I've already said we can use hashtag for comment. So the last x, as we write the same variable name, so last x is tuple, so first bracket, and inside the bracket we have values red, green and blue, RGB. Then there is dictionary type. Dictionary type is like key value type, means you can give a key, then according to the key the value will be printed. So I initialized a dictionary which is second bracket. Inside second bracket the first key is name, the value for the name I've written is Steven, then second key is age and the value of age is 15. If we run this, then name is Steven. Instead of name, if we so age is 15, which is already set. So there's set type. Also second bracket. Okay, so this is set, and this is frozen set. So there is Boolean type. Boolean type it can be true or false, right? So if we just print what is X, it just write true. So Boolean type can have only true or false. So like if we just write false, so this is false. So there are also binary type. Binary type can be byte type. So instead of writing full bytes, you need to write the B, then it is byte type hello. Then byte array, then memory view. So now we can see about operators, as we already saw about data type. Operators are similar, like as you did in mathematics. Some of them you find similar. So this is the addition sign plus. So I have two value initialized with two variable. A is 15, B is 2. So first one is plus, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Those are very common. Second, this one, the percent, if we use inside, means in the middle part of A and B, then this is like B is divided by A is divided by B, and the remainder will be in C, assigned in C. If we run this, as we already know, A is 15, B is 2, so remainder of C is 1. So next one is exponent. Exponent is like A to the power of B. A to the power of B, and in order to write the exponent we need to write double multiplication sign. So this is exponent, and it will show 2 to 5 inside C. If we change A is equal to 10, B is equal to 3, then this is 1000, because 10 to the power 3 is 1000. Now the floor division, double quotation, floor division means we can only have the whole number. Okay, 3 into 3 is 9, so 3.33 if we use the decimal point or floating point. But for floor division, which is double division sign, we can just write 3. So after that there's bitwise operation. Bitwise operation is like binary bit operation. So first one is AND operation. If you know about bitwise operation or Boolean AND, then you can see we've already write a is 15, b is equal to 2. Then if we AND this, so these two bits are 0, so if we AND these two bits and the last bit also, we will get 0, so only third bit will be 1. So which will this binary AND will be only 1 0, and if we convert to this to decimal from Boolean, not Boolean, but from binary, this is binary and this is decimal, which is 2, so we will get only 2. So this is OR, this one is AND operation. So this is OR operation, or this is OR operator. So if we use OR sign 15 or 2, so it will get either 1 or 0. If we use OR sign, then 1 0 will be OR and become 1, right? So it will give the output of binary bits only 0 when both of A and B is 0. Okay, but here all is 1, so it will just give the output 15. Run this, you'll get 15. Then after that, Xor operation. For Xor, it's little bit different. If the output, if the two variable bit is different, the output is 1, and if it is same, like third bit and this one third bit is same, 1 1, which will be 0. If it is 0 0, then it also be 0. Means if the bit is same according, then it will output is 0, and if the bit is different, similar bit, basically similar bit I'm talking about, it's different, then the output will be 1, which will become 13. Shift and enter, then it will run the cell. It is 13. Another is not sign. In Python it will be like if A is 15, so we just add +1 in binary. This is binary, not decimal. This is binary. So in order to add, we just have extra bit and all of them are 0. So that's how binary work. I'm not gonna show you about those. You can if you need it, you can learn it differently if you don't know. So it will be -16. So 15 not sign, if we use it is it will -16. So then this is right shift and left shift also here. So this one is right shift. Right shift means we know that 15 binary is 4 1. 15 binary is 4 1. So binary bits are moving from left to right. If we move 2 times, then 2 of this 1 will be vanished. 2 of 1 will be vanished because those are actually register. So if we move that, so we actually lost those bits and we cannot get this, and so previously those empty space will be replaced by 0. So if we move 15 2 times in right shift, then the output will be 3 because the binary of 1 1 decimal value is 3. Okay, Now it's interesting that if we use left shift, now this is gone to the left, right to left, then 2 bits is actually added. Okay, so it become 15 to 60. Those operations are using almost 2 operators, 2 operands, actually 2 operands. This is single, means single variable is used. So plus equal should be used, which is same as a plus equal to 2, so which is same as a is equal to a plus 2 and a minus equal to 2, which is equal to same as a is equal to a minus 2. For star equal, it also same as, I didn't write all of this, a, which is same as a is equal to a star 2. Means we multiply with a and put the value, the output, in same a variable. So same thing can be happen in bitwise operator also, right shift left shift, but this is not variable, this is the value. Okay, so there is conditional operators. Conditional operator is that equal, this is checking for equal, a is equal to b or not, a is not equal to b, less than b, greater than b, less than equal to b, greater than equal to b. These conditions are checking when while we're checking like a is greater than b or not, using if condition most of the time, if, for looping condition. So there are also logical operations like and, or, and not. And is like 2 conditions and together, or more than condition. If we have more than condition and all of the condition need to be and, so we have to use more and write the condition. We cannot use more than one condition without logical operators. So membership operator, operator basically the we're just checking like this is list, if you can remember sequence type, this is list. So membership operation basically it will find if a value or a variable is inside a list or a sequence. If in means if red is in X, list X. Okay, and we also check if red not in X, it will output you the Boolean, result will be in Boolean. So if it is false, because red already included in X, so the checking is false. No, red is already included in X, so this will be true. If we comment this, you can see output will be true. So after that we have if else condition checking. For that I'll be using a new variable and a value assigned it in as white. So white value inside variable color. So I'll be checking if color not in X. X is what? X is this, because I have already run this. X is X. X is like red, green, blue. So white obviously not included or not in this list. So I'll write x dot append. Append is like adding the variable or adding the value in a list or a tuple. So this is the built-in function in Python. So x dot append color, else I'll be print only already included. So this is I run previously. So if you run this, shift enter, then white is included, right? So if we run this again, this white is already included in X list, so this won't run again, it just run already included. So this is how if and else actually work. We need to also use elif if we have more than two condition. We'll see about that later. If we run this again, shift enter, then you'll see already included. We run this cell already. So after that we'll see about looping. First one is for loop. So for loop we declared a list 1 which is empty. So for loop writing is like we need to write for as a keyword for I, which is a variable, in a range 100. Range actually work how? Range actually work like range should have, if a range have only one value, then you can see range start always from 0 to that value. Actually it will run from 0 to not that value, less than 1. We'll see about that right now. So if we start writing if for I in range 100, it means range value will be start from 0 to 99. So every times loop is running when start from I to this, it will just I value will be changed. Okay, so we can print like inside for loop and value of I. By the way, this is string, so we cannot concatenate integer because I will be integer, so we need to convert type of I, and I converted in string. If we run this and we also write something, why don't we just comment it so you can check what is happening here. So see, for loop is running from 0, I value starting from 0, and it run up to 99, not 100, 99. Okay, so it incremented 1 up to 1, but we can change, like we can start from 10 to 100, and instead of incrementing 1 we can increment 2. So it's starting from 10, and see every time it incremented by 2. 10 plus 2 is equal to 12, 14, 16, 18 up to 98, not 99 or 100. It can't go up to 100, it can go up to 99, but that's out of this for loop range. Okay, so we just print it. Instead of printing, we can now assign or append in the list. So whatever let's list the increment starting from 100, and I checked, I placed a if condition. Condition is if I value is divisible by 2, which actually divisible by 2 means the remainder will be 0, must be 0. Then I want to append the value of I in the empty list 1, empty list 1. So if we uncomment this, if we run this, there's an error. What's the error? In range, there's not should be range. We can iterate list 1 because it's already have more than one value, so we don't need to write range. So this is the value inside the list. So you can see every value is divisible by 2 up to 98. Okay, so the way of writing for loop is you need to write for as a keyword, then the value, then the variable. You can write in range if you using a range, so every times the variable value will be changed when it goes inside the loop, and you can do whatever you want inside the loop. And the very important thing that I forgot to tell, Python is actually using space keyword, like it doesn't care about bracket, which is very important in C++ and Java, but in Python you cannot depend on, you cannot use brackets. You need to use space. Like this line is actually depends on this condition, and this actually means these lines actually depends on this for loop condition. Okay, but this one is not depend on, and this also not depend on the first for loop. This is the second for loop, which is individual and not affected by the first for loop because the spacing is same. Okay, but this line actually depends on this. So next I have written a problem which is finding leap year from a year list using for loop. Okay, so at first I created a list which has range from 2000 to 2200, and it will actually, if we just copy this and write over here, and if we just print the year what is inside that, you can see I just create a list from 2000 to 2199. So here is the list which contains the list starting from 2000 to 2199. And if we check about leap year conditions, the year should be divisible by 400. Year should be divisible by 400, and year should be divisible by 4, which is 2004, and year should not be divisible by only 100. Only 100 means 2000 is divisible by 400 and 100, but 2100 is only divisible by 100 but not 400. So how can we write this using condition? So we write a for loop using year list, and inside that for loop we write four conditions. First one is if I is divisible by 400, that means it is a leap year. If I is not divisible by 400, then this condition, elif condition or else if condition will be true if it is divisible by 100. So 2100 here will be checked. So is not a leap year according to the condition. Then the checking will be if I is divisible by 4, then it is leap year. Else means if the first three condition is not true, then it's 100% sure is not leap year. For example, 2001. If we run this, then you'll see 2096 is a leap year and 2100 is not a leap year. Okay, so if we know the range between the year, like 2000 to 2200, we can using range function, and we can increment each time by 4, then we will get the year, all are leap year: 2004, 8, 2040, 2196. Okay, so then we can talk about while loop. While loop is kind of different from for loop initialization. We need to initialize the value first, or we do have to know the value of I. Then we need to write while keyword and the conditions up to when the loop need to be run. So I run here I should be less than 10, and I just print I inside the loop, while loop, and increment the value of I plus 1. If we don't increment this, then this loop will run forever. Okay, so it will create an error. So if we run this, so it just incremented up to 9. Okay, next part is function. We can write function in Python. What is function? Function is like a code segment you can write, and inside that function we can write some other code line, and instead of writing those lines every time, we just write the function name. So here I just write definition function, right, and here I just print this is a function. So if you run this, so this is function. So we need to call the function name and using the first bracket. This function actually without any arguments. What are arguments? We can pass the data in a function. We can check here. This is the argument I'm talking about. Okay, so this argument I just print it, and so function 1 means name, and I pass the argument which is string argument for this example. So if we run this, this will print string argument, or I just delete and just argument. I can pass any value like integer, it will print the integer. This will be the end of the first lecture. I'll continue the remaining parts in the next lecture. If you have any question, please write down in the comment section, and thank you.